Welcome back to The Making of Her. If you are new here, this is not a motivation podcast. It's not about hustle, and it's definitely not about becoming more productive at the cost of your nervous system. This is a space for women, high-achieving women who are competent, capable, and quietly exhausted by just holding it all together. Today, I want to talk about burnout, but not the way that it is usually discussed, because most women that I work with, they aren't actually burnt out. What they are is misaligned. And there's a difference here that changes everything. So if you have been telling yourself, I just need a break, or something like, oh, once this season passes, I will feel better, or something along the lines of, maybe I'm just tired because I am not resilient enough. Stay with me for a second here. What is happening in your body is not personal failure. It is a biological signal. And once you understand that, you stop trying to fix yourself. And that's when you start recalibrating your life. The question comes up then, why is burnout the wrong diagnosis? See, burnout has become the most overused word in a high-achieving women's space. We say it casually. We normalize it. And we also use it as a badge of honor. We wear it proudly like it's a badge of honor, because burnout isn't just too much work. True burnout is a state of prolonged nervous system dysregulation, where your body no longer believes that it is safe to recover. Here's what I want you to hear clearly. Most women are not burnt out because they are weak. They're burnt out because they have been living in opposition to their biology. Let me explain this. Your nervous system truly doesn't care about your accolades, about how much money you made, about the awards you got, about the stages you spoke on. It does not care. Not about your degree, not about your practice, your dental or medical practice, your team, your title, none of that. It only asks one question. Am I safe? Am I safe to rest? Safe to speak the truth? Safe to slow down? Safe to stop proving? When your external life requires you to override that question daily, your body adapts until it can't. That time is when you get brain fog. That is when you become irritable. Your sleep becomes dysregulated. Your weight changes. Sound familiar? There's loss of joy. There's a dissatisfaction with everything that you're doing, a constant sense of pressure, and the feeling that everything is fine, but nothing really feels good. That is not burnout, my friend. That is misalignment between who you are and how you're living. Now, here's the trap that high-performing women fall into. You have learned early on that success comes from being reliable, from being capable, from being composed, from being the one who handles it all. So when something feels off, you don't slow down, you optimize, you intellectualize it, you push harder, but prettier. And then you add meditation on top of that overload. You add supplements. You add journaling on top of resentment and exhaustion. But the point is, misalignment does not respond to more tools. The only thing it's going to respond to is the truth. And this is the truth that most women avoid. You can be wildly successful and still be living out of alignment with your values, your capacity, and your biology. Because alignment is not about doing less. It is about doing what matches your internal operating system. So for example, if your leadership requires constant urgency, but if your nervous system is wired for depth and regulation, you're going to feel depleted no matter how hard you push or how much you love your work. If your identity is built on being needed, but your body is craving sovereignty, you are going to feel trapped, even in success. If your calendar reflects obligation instead of intention, your body's going to protest. that protest is going to show up as burnout. It is actually a call for recalibration. See, I want to share something personal here. There was a season when, for me, on paper, everything looked right. It was perfect. I could not have asked for a better life, right? I was respected. I was a speaker that was in demand. I was doing meaningful work. I was established. And yet I felt chronically tight inside. Not dramatic, not collapsing, just constricted. My body was doing what my mouth couldn't say, couldn't verbalize. And it was saying this: this version of leadership is costing me more than the price I'm willing to pay. Not because the work was wrong, but because the way I was doing it no longer fit who I had become. And that is an important distinction, because you don't outgrow ambition. You outgrow misalignment. And when you don't listen to that shift, your body speaks louder. Let's ground this in biology for a moment. See, your nervous system has two primary modes: protection and connection. Protection mode prioritizes survival. That's your fight or flight, right? But connection mode allows creativity. It allows leadership. It allows empathy, vision. And high achieving women are often stuck toggling between these two, between the high functioning protection and the forced calm. It can look like overworking that then leads to collapse, control that then feels like guilt, hypercompetence that then leads to resentment, and the I'm fine that then leads to exhaustion. Alignment happens when your external demands match your internal capacity, not your potential, your capacity. And it's key to remember and understand that capacity changes with your age, the season of life you are in, your hormones, the stress load you're carrying, and also your life context. Ignoring that is not strength. It is self-abandonment. And here's the reframe. Alignment is not about slowing down forever. It is leading from regulation instead of adrenaline. That is where true sustainable power lives. So I want to leave you with 3 questions, not to answer intellectually, but to feel into. Listen to what your gut says. Where am I overriding my body to maintain an image? Pay attention to what feels tight when you ask this. Question number 2, what part of my life requires me to be someone that I've outgrown? This is often where grief lives. And number 3, if I stopped proving, what would need to change? That question is the one that scares high achievers, because proving something is what has kept us safe. Yes, I used to be there. But safety that is built on performance eventually becomes a cage. Here's what I want you to remember. You're not broken. You are not lazy, far from it. And you are not failing. Your system is asking for calibration, not correction. Leadership in this next season is not louder. It is cleaner. It is quieter. It is clearer. It's not faster. It's more intentional. No more output, more alignment. This is the work we do here in this space. We do not have to burn it all down, but what we do need to do is rebuild from truth instead of tension. If this episode is resonating with you, sit with it before you rush to fix anything, because awareness is the first act of alignment. I will see you next time.